People HR includes absence management functionality to manage both planned and unplanned leave for your employees. First of all, let's take a look at the self-service functionality. In this case, we'll be using the mobile app, but the same functionality is available to employees via the desktop application. So looking at the mobile app as an employee, I can see I have a holiday balance. This holiday balance is automatically calculated by People HR based on rules and takes into consideration things like my start and leave date, my contracted hours and FTE, and any changes that have been made in that year. It can also be set to include things like length of service additions, so if your employees accrue additional holiday the longer they've worked for you, People HR can automatically allocate this to your employees as and when they reach those service milestones. Holiday can be given in days and hours, in this case we're looking at days, and employees also have the ability to drill into their entitlements to see how the system has calculated them, therefore alleviating the burden of HR teams having to answer questions about holiday entitlements. So I can see my entitlement. I can also see my next booked leave and how many days away that is, and I also have access to a planner, and this can show me not just my absence, but the absence of my colleagues too. So if I want to book some last minute holiday, I can click into the days that I would like off and I can see if anybody in my team already has that time booked off. And therefore I know if my holiday request is likely to be accepted for that day. To book holiday, I simply click on the add and then enter the details of my request. As People HR will know my working pattern, the number of days or hours of the request will automatically be calculated to take into effect any non-working days such as weekends or bank holidays. I can then submit my request and it will go for approval. People HR has configurable approval rules, so whilst out of the box absence requests may go to an employee's manager, if you require something different in terms of approval rules, this can be catered for. Now let's have a look to see what the manager sees with regards to holiday approvals and how they can use People HR to manage unplanned and other types of absence for their teams. So I've logged into People HR as a manager. First off, let's have a look at how those holiday requests are managed. So there's a few different ways that I could be notified of an approval that requires my attention. There's things like emails and push notifications. I can also come into the feed via the access button and that will show me a prioritised list of all of my tasks. I also have the authorisations area which will break down my pending activities by type. So useful if I have a few different types of approvals that I'm responsible for, I can choose which area I want to tackle first. Within the holiday approval, I have access to all the important information about the request, including the employee's holiday balance, and importantly, managers can see in here if that absence request clashes with anybody else's absence in their team. So they can make the approval armed with all of the relevant information to make an informed decision. Each employee has their own planner, which a manager can view too. This allows a manager to see a breakdown of their employee's absence with all of the different absence types. The padlock days indicate days that have been locked out, which can be set by administrators. These can be locked out days that employees aren't allowed to request holiday. So for example, if I was in a retail business, I might want to prevent any of my retail staff from booking Black Friday or Cyber Monday off. Managers can also use the planner to add absence on. So if this employee has called in sick this morning, I can quickly and simply enter the relevant data for that absence. I can also enter things like return to work details on here and upload a fit note if the employee has provided one. You can define the types of absence that can be entered, so it could be other events that need to be recorded. So for example, I could be using the planner to record kit days for my staff or even working from home days. These drop-down lists in the system are configurable by you to capture the types of absence or working that you need to record. Additionally, you can also see that the managers have access to the relevant information to help spot any trends. So this employee seems to have quite a lot of Tuesdays off sick regularly, so the heat map highlights this trend to me. People HR can also automatically calculate the employee's Bradford factor. If you don't use Bradford factor, this can be turned off, and if you have any other triggers for monitoring disruptive absence, we can set up alerts and workflows using the Ripple workflow tool to alert you when employees are hitting certain absence thresholds. Lastly, for our managers, they can also see a group calendar. This gives them access to all of the absence information for their team at one glance. And I can filter this so I can see different areas of the business or different employees one by one, and then see a snapshot for each day. So it really gives the manager the ability to see the whereabouts of their teams at a glance without having to go in and out of individual records. Now let's turn our attention to expenses. People HR has inbuilt expenses functionality to allow employees to claim out-of-pocket expenses using the mobile app. To claim expenses, employees can either upload or take a picture of their expense receipt using the camera technology on their phone and upload it directly to their expense claim in People HR. Claims can also be bundled together into submissions, or reports as we call them. This enables employees to submit claims to their managers in multiples, rather than each claim one at a time. Employees can indicate the type of the claim, the value of it, and detail any project codes or reasons for the claim. Again, all of the drop-down lists here are configurable by yourselves. As we saw with absences, expenses can be submitted for approval, and then managers can approve them using their logon to view the claim and then approve.